Hey guys, I literally haven't talked to you yet at all for this reading vlog, so I hope you guys are doing well. It is obviously nighttime. Well, I don't even know if you can tell that it's nighttime, but it's nighttime now, and I started The Dead Romantics. I am now on page 114. I figured this would be a perfect book to start off our little fall reading vlog because it kind of like screams fall. So this is marketed as like a romance rom-com-y type of book, but it's honestly different than anything I've read before. This book is about this girl named Florence Day, and she's a ghostwriter for this like really famous author, and she writes romance books, and she has a new editor. She meets this editor and she's like, okay, hey. And I don't want to give anything away, but basically there's a reason why she has to go back to her hometown, and it's called The Dead Romantics because she sees ghosts, which is super interesting. Again, never read a book like this before, especially like a romance book. I feel like this would be more of a plot for like a fantasy book or something like that. Obviously there'd be more involved if it was probably in a fantasy, but for a rom-com I find this to be very unique and I like it a lot so far. I'll be honest, I did cry within the first 100 pages somewhere in there just because of what happened. It was a little emotional for me, but other than that I am really enjoying it so far. This is by the author Ashley Poston. I haven't read anything else by her, but I also want to read The 7-Year Slip by her that came out this year. This came out last year, and I've just heard really great things about both of these, and they both give off kind of like fall-esque vibes, and I feel like this is just the perfect romance book for fall, so I'm really excited to keep on reading it. Are you serious? Why does this keep happening? It's a Saturday and I have a long night ahead of me, and I literally have to pop an energy drink just because of how late I stayed up last night reading this book. I think I stayed up until like 1, which for me in general is pretty late, but I also had work today at 10 a.m. and like I live a little bit far from my work, so I have to wake up earlier to like get there, like you know the gist. I was also having a very emotional time last night as well. I'm currently on page 302 and I think I only have like 40-ish pages left. And I'll be honest, this book is really not what I expected it to be. I thought it was gonna be a lot more like lighthearted, like kind of ghouly rom-com for the fall. No, that is that is not this. As I already told you, I was sobbing my eyes out, and I progressively sobbed my eyes out over and over and over again. Like I literally couldn't stop crying. I had to take breaks with this book, and that's why it took me so long to read last night. And I don't really know yet for sure, obviously, because I haven't finished it, but this book has a very high chance of becoming a 5-star for me. I feel so connected to the characters, and there's so much tragedy that happens in this book too that makes you just want to like be in the story and comfort the characters. And the way that Ashley Poston talks about grief is just so incredibly relatable. Like I'm almost like girl, like you okay? Like, cause this is too realistic. Like you've obviously been through something. The feelings I feel towards Florence and towards Benji, guys, they're just perfect. And I was going to update you last night, but I just literally couldn't put it down, and I really didn't think a love story about ghosts was going to have this kind of reaction for me. I don't really know what else to say without giving something away, because I don't want to give something away, because I want you guys to read this book if you haven't yet, and I want to know like your reactions and stuff like that, because I feel like that's the best way to go into a book. And I've said this before, but I love going in blind to books because then I feel like I get my most real and honest reactions to it. I also didn't tell you guys, but I left off at a part where like you're not really sure like what's gonna happen or what's going on, and I'm so excited to see the story unfold at the end. I'm crossing my fingers that I really like the ending, and even though I kind of want these characters and this book to last for like ever, let's go ahead and get back into it. this book. I'll be honest, I think I already know my rating, which normally I don't say my rating until like the end of a reading vlog because normally I think I need time to like really think about it. But I think it's a 4.75 and not a 5-star. There's just something that I really wished would have happened that would have completed the story even more. And if that little thing would have happened at any point in the story, it would have been absolutely perfect. And it was almost perfect. It was almost there. Who knows, maybe I'll change my mind and I'll end up rating it a 5-star like the more I think about it. But right now at this point in time, I feel like it's just a very strong 4.75. I also really liked the ending. I liked how everything kind of wrapped up. There was no official epilogue either. The last few chapters just kind of acted as the epilogue, and for it to be a epilogue or whatever, it was kind of just like a little bit long. But I also kind of liked that because I like these characters a lot, obviously, and it was just very precious to see what their ending was like, and I thought that was very cute. But that one thing that I wish would have happened, maybe there's like a certain reason that it didn't happen, so I don't know. I'm probably gonna watch like some TikToks or some videos on it. Also, can I just say this was like the perfect fall romance, and it makes me even more excited to read the 7-Year Slip by her that she just came out with that I was just talking about earlier. So if you haven't read this, I highly recommend it. This is probably one of the most unique romances I've ever read, while still doing everything that a regular rom-com-y romance does, but she does it so uniquely. It's just so well done. Please read this book. Okay, now that we have finished this, I think I want to read like a thriller or a mystery. I think I've only read like 1 or 2 of those so far actually in my little reading journey, and that is because, and I've said this so many times before in videos, but I am a scaredy cat. If you can be scared by it, I will be. So I'm a little nervous, but I feel like since it's a fall reading vlog, I have to, and this is the prime time to start getting into the thriller / mystery genre. What time is it? Okay, so it turns out that I actually have to leave, and finishing this book took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I will update you guys whenever I start reading the next book for this vlog. Chat about the book that I just started, which you guys have already seen, is The Naturals. This is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, the same person that wrote the Inheritance Games. I haven't read those yet, but I really want to because I've heard such great things. My friend Olivia is actually reading them right now, and she just says that they're like so easy to read and that she's reading them like so quick and they're so good. I am currently on page 87 and I am enjoying it so far. I've never really read anything like this, surprisingly enough. This is a YA mystery. I feel like it has like some thrilling aspects, but I don't think I would call it a thriller, at least not yet. I obviously haven't finished the book, so I don't know everything about it, but I feel like everybody's been talking about this lately. It's just like a YA Criminal Minds kind of thing. There's these teenagers that have special gifts that the FBI is just like super interested in because they want to like learn how they do what they do, and they want to be like these kids who have these special gifts. And we're following Cassie, who is the newest member of the Naturals, and I think there's like 5 of them that we know of anyways. And in all honesty, that's kind of like all I really know so far. I will say though, I am kind of enjoying Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing. It's just very fast paced and everything's just kind of like to the point, which honestly, most of the time with YA books, I feel like that's kind of how it is. They just like say what they're trying to say. Like, it's not like lyrical or beautiful writing per se, but it like gets the job done, and it just tells the story in like a very like concise way. I feel like I've barely read today, so me almost reading 100 pages is like really good. I feel like I'm going to fly through this book, and I also low-key felt like I was almost in a book slump, so I feel pretty good about this book right now because I feel like it's kind of like taking me out of that. And you know what, let's be completely honest, sometimes we just need a fast-paced short book to finish and feel good about finishing a book, you know? And yeah, I don't know, I am intrigued to read more. Currently on page 230, and I'm pretty sure there's 300 pages. There's 308 pages. I haven't really shared like a lot of my opinions or specific thoughts on this book yet. I've just kind of said like what it's about, and as I've said many a times, I get scared very easily. And I'm not gonna lie, this book is like kind of scaring me, even though it is like a young adult kind of like mystery. It's honestly, it's a mystery thriller in my opinion, unless like I'm just super not used to reading it and I'm just like a super scaredy cat. I will say though, it reads super quick and like the story itself kind of like picks up very quickly and like you get to know the characters really quickly. I feel like there's like a little love triangle going on too, which I kind of enjoy. And I think about like 50 pages ago we figured out like the main plot of the whole book, like what's going on with this certain cold case. And if we're being honest, you know what, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm just scared. I feel like finding bingeable books sometimes is like kind of hard, and once you find like a good book and then there's more in the series, like you just want to keep on reading. So if I do like the ending to this one, I have a feeling that I will definitely be ordering the rest of the series and probably the Inheritance Games too. I'm a little nervous for the ending, to be honest. I feel like it might end off on a cliffhanger just because of where the plotline of the story is going at the moment. And I also don't think they're going to be able to wrap it up in like 70 pages. So, but I don't know. I guess we will just have to wait and see. I'm going to try and finish this tonight and I will update you guys on all my thoughts in the morning. Last night I finished The Naturals and I'm gonna be honest, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Did I get very scared at some points? Absolutely. But now that I'm thinking back on it, it was a nice thrilling experience. Yes. Am I terrified for my life at the moment? No, but it's also not dark out, so that could change. I am really excited to try some more like mystery kind of like puzzle piecing together, maybe YA for a little bit. I don't think I'm ready for adult thriller at all. Maybe probably not adult mystery either, but overall I did enjoy this book. I literally finished it in 2 days. I probably could have finished it in one sitting if I actually like had the chance to just sit down for a few hours and crank through. But again, I really did enjoy it a lot more than I thought I was going to, and I'm gonna buy the next 3 that are in the series and the novella too, and then finish the series sometime soon, probably before the end of the year, just because books like these, like I just instantly want to read and want to know more. One, because it's like a very fast-paced, compelling story, and 2, because it doesn't take a ton of brain power. It's just like entertaining and to the point. So I feel like these are great books to grab, especially if you're feeling like you're gonna be in the middle of a slump. So I'm also excited to read the Inheritance Games really soon, even though I'm like super behind on that trend. For our next book of this video, I was trying to think and I was like, what should I read? At first, whenever I was planning out this video, I was like, let's do a romance, a fantasy, and a mystery like thriller thing. But right now, I'm honestly not in the mood for a fantasy, and I kind of want to read like a cute little witchy kind of story because I've never really read something like that, and I honestly like don't know what to expect. And I feel like that's fantasy-ish-esque, but more like in a fun way. And going along with this book, I have a special announcement for you guys. Please welcome the newest member of the Kindle Unlimited community, Katie! Oh, hi. Thank you, everybody. This means a lot to me, and I cannot wait to just have 3 months free membership and cancel immediately whenever the free membership is done because I'm way too cheap for this. So thank you very much. Yeah, but anyways, that is pretty exciting. I don't have a Kindle, but I do have an iPad that I'm using the Kindle app on, and then I can obviously like use it on my phone too. I feel like I'm gonna get good use of it too because I'm gonna be going on a trip and I don't wanna like pack a bunch of books in my suitcase because I'm flying. So I feel like it will be good because then I'm gonna have all the books on my devices and just read them that way. So I'm very excited. I've already downloaded a few, which going along with the few that I've downloaded, I downloaded the next book that we're gonna be reading, and I think I read like the first 30-ish pages already. Where's my Kindle app? It's called The Modern Girl's Guide to Magic, and there's a second book in the series too. I think there's gonna be a third, and I think they're like interconnected standalones of just all the same like small town. But the gist so far that I've gotten from this book: 1, dual POV, which we love. 2, I think it's like a romantasy, but more romance, less fantasy, more like a romancy. That didn't make sense. Basically the main character, which I don't remember the name of, comes home from London to her cute little small town, which it's set in the UK, which I absolutely love. And she's brought home by her grandma because there's like this set of trials going on, and whoever wins the trials gets like this certain area in like their town, which is super important to her family's like potions and spells business, I guess. So her grandma comes to get her. She's like, girl, like, you're doing these trials and you're gonna win, like, I believe it. But then there's also this guy doing these trials, and they have like a little history, so it's kind of giving like second chance a little bit, but they only met like very briefly. I think it was like 1 or 2 times, I don't know. And it's also enemies to lovers. Like, he's super in love with her, but she does not like him. He's kind of like this billionaire witchy, I think they called him a mage, don't know if that's how you say that, but they called him it. And yeah, I mean, they haven't reunited yet. They both just got to the small town, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm honestly not sure how like trial heavy this will be, because when I heard of trials, I instantly think of like Hunger Games, high fantasy, that kind of stuff. I just don't really know what to expect. I've never really read anything by this author or in this genre, I guess you could say too. But I don't know, I'm really excited, and I also haven't heard a lot about it either, so who knows, maybe, and hopefully it'll end up being really good. Okay, hello everybody. It has been a few days, I'm not gonna lie, and I honestly thought I would be done with this book by then. That has not happened. Not that I haven't had time to read, I just really like don't want to read a specific book. I don't know what it is about it. Like, it's kind of giving me nothing right now. I did read a little bit last night. I actually woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't fall asleep, so I read for a little bit, and I was like, is she like piquing my interest now all of a sudden? Like, am I really getting into it now? I would say really getting into it is a stretch though, but I've just been reading it on my phone because I don't have a Kindle either. Maybe that's what's kind of putting me off. I don't really know. I'm currently 42% of the way through, on page 131 out of 316, and it's honestly just like not giving. It is dual POV, which is nice, and there was like a little scene where I was like, oh, like maybe I will like this, but now I'm like, no, like I'm just bored. And it has been a long time since I felt this way about a book too. Like, it takes a lot for me to be bored from a book. I feel like I'm very easy to please for the most part. Like, not everything's gonna be a 5-star, but we're gonna give it a go, and we're gonna see what I can do, and I'm gonna update you guys as I go along. My goal is I'm gonna stay up until I finish this book. It is currently 7:17 p.m. and we're gonna give it a shot. So let's get into it. It is a few days later, and I'm not gonna lie, it has taken me a lot of time to finish this book, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. Number one, the pacing is weird. Like, I genuinely didn't really know where any of this was going, and I am also like 260 pages in. There's only 317 pages, and we haven't even finished the second task, and there's 3, so I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of confused as to what we're doing. There was also like 1 or 2 parts where it was kind of giving like more fantasy than it was like rom-com-y witchy moments, you know, and I was so here for it. And then I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, am I just not in the mood for this book? Maybe that's why I'm not really enjoying it as much, but I also don't think that's why. I think I just genuinely, it's just not for me, because those fantasy moments die down, and then I'm like, meh. And that's because this book isn't just about being like magical and stuff like that. It's literally about plants, plant magic. That's what it's about. And literally the majority of it, they're not even doing spells and stuff like that. Like, they're only doing that if they need to get out of a sticky situation. Like, they're not just like using it. And I was really hoping it would be throughout the entirety of the book, but it's really not. And that makes me kind of sad, because that's not what I wanted. And what also upsets me is that the main character, Aria, one, love her name, super cute. She's kind of giving nothing. And I feel really mean saying that, but I just don't connect with her. There's a few things that I connect with her on, like whenever she has like inner monologue and she's thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, but like genuinely I feel like she doesn't really have like anything like specific or any like specific personality traits besides that she loves plants. That's about it. And I'm honestly more interested in the side characters than I am in Aria. Callan's okay, her love interest, he's okay, and this is like a little bit dual POV, but we don't get enough of Callan. It's just weird. I almost wish we got more of him. It's just a very confusing book. I'm gonna try and finish it tonight and then let you guys know my final thoughts on it tomorrow, but I just sadly am not enjoying it right now. Okay. Hey guys, I actually didn't finish filming the end of this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish that right now. I'm actually in Rochester, New York right now, visiting my friend Brooke. So there will be some vlogs and stuff like that coming out with my whole time here today. We're going to the pumpkin patch, so excited. But anyways, let's go ahead and do a quick little reading wrap up on all of my thoughts on the 3 books that I read in this video. I was gonna start out by giving my thoughts on the last book that I was just finishing reading, but I figured I should just do it in order and then talk about it at the end. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. Okay, the first book I read in this video was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I'm pretty sure I already said this, but I rated this a 4.75. I absolutely adored this book. This close to a 5-star, but alas, it didn't have the one thing that I needed to have to be a 5-star. But I still love the book. It was so good. Gives all the good fall rom-com-y vibes. You guys have to read it. Then I read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I gave this one a 4-star. This was my first like mystery thriller book, and it was actually really good, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to, especially since I get scared very easily, but at least it's a YA, so you know, I'm easing my way into it. But I did really enjoy this book. I like the main characters, I like the plot, and I'm definitely continuing the series. And then the last book I read on Kindle Unlimited. It is called The Modern Girl's Guide to Magic, and I'm honestly not like 100% sure what I'm gonna rate this one yet. I think I'm gonna stick with like a 2.5 maybe. I don't really know. I really didn't enjoy this book as much as I thought I was going to. I was really looking forward to having like a cute little like witchy rom-com moment because I've never really read a book like that. But again, I think I said this a billion times, but it wasn't giving. It was literally just about like plant magic. There was like barely any other magic like throughout it. It was dual PV, which is nice, but I didn't really feel the connection towards the characters, especially because they only met like one time previous to them being reunited and they like couldn't stop thinking about each other. It didn't do it for me. It really fell flat for me. I'm hoping though sometime in October maybe to read a different one. I've heard a lot about the Secret Society of, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but I'll put it somewhere up here. That book looks very cute and like kind of what I'm looking for. But anyways, that is the end of this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you guys have any thoughts on these books or any books you want me to read, make sure to comment them down below. And yeah, I think that's it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Haha. Cool. Glasses for the fun experience. And lots of fun in Calico.